If you're like me, you've gotten to where you may not be dependent on it, but you appreciate the availability of a mounting block. And there are folks who have problems with getting their horse to step up and be readily accessible for them to mount using the mounting block. So I thought I'd give you a couple of thoughts that are a little bit backward and reverse engineer the mounting block a little bit. First of all, I want to show you my mounting block. Can you pivot over there and get us a picture of that? This is something new. I've always used muck buckets, but we were doing some logging on the farm. I said to Neil, the fellow who was felling the trees, I said, you know, if you get a good big butt, could you make me a mounting block? It sounds weird, but I meant a good big butt of wood. So he got a good big butt, and he made a step, which you may not be able to see real well, but there's actually a step up onto that block. That's a chunk of pure oak. It probably weighs 300 or 400 pounds. Very stable. I might have liked it a little bit taller, but it sure works well, and you feel very secure on it. And that's always a consideration with a mounting block. That's where I'm going to be going in a minute. But for now, I'm going to suggest that if you want your horse to be happy with the mounting block, let him rest there when he wants to rest. So I've been riding this little mare for a while. We did a couple of segments. You can see the ground's a little torn up. We were doing some spins, and you know, she's had some work here. So when you're working them, maybe what you do is every so often, and it may be in the arena, all the better. This is just a little out of the way, but take your horse over to the mounting block, position them where you would get on or off, and there you rest. There you rest. And out there you're working, the mounting block is a good place to be. It's someplace she can be and catch her air. It's someplace that doesn't necessarily mean just get on and go to work. Because what I find is a lot of us are more comfortable getting off than getting on. So we'll climb up on the mounting block and get on, and then we'll spring down after we've been riding for a while, just step off and get down to the ground, and the mounting block's not involved. If the mounting block is also a place they rest and the place you get off, so much the better, because it becomes a place that is at worst neutral, at best a place the horse wants to be. So certainly you want to have your horse maneuverable. You want to have them disciplined to where you can put them over and get them on the mounting block or next to the mounting block. But you also want it to be a place that they want to be, which will make those other things much easier. So I'm out here working a little bit. I'm not working her real hard, but I've been working her for a while. So if I was out here working on trotting circles for 10 minutes, well, by and by, I'd just trot myself over to the mounting block. And if it's in the arena, that's just fine. I would suggest that you don't put it right by the gate. And again, we let her rest there. And she's real happy to just stand there. And you're gonna find that if your horse stands when you get off or when you rest, they're much more likely to seek that mounting block and stand there when you get on. Now, one thought is, this whole idea of getting off on the mounting block is just fine, but make sure your mounting block is secure enough, stable enough, and big enough that you can step off on it comfortably and safely. Because if you miss your target and fall off the mounting block, all sorts of bad things happen. For one thing, it's going to scare your horse. The other thing is probably going to break your damn leg, and it's just not going to work out real well. But if you're secure enough and have a good enough mounting block, or like a muck bucket that I typically would use if I'm away from home, that's fine. You know, I have no trouble with targeting that, but you don't want something that's going to tip over on you. So all I'm going to do is trot her around here for a while, and we're going to pretend like I've just been working the snot right out of her, even though I've just made a couple of circles. But if I had been working her hard, just in the middle of your ride, take a little break, ride over to that mounting block, especially if you've been having any issues with it, and it becomes a place where the horse is delighted to go. And it gets your horse pretty accurate in positioning themselves at a good place. And then when you are ready to get off, swing yourself off and let your horse continue to rest there for a minute. Let them have a minute to blow. Don't say the party's over. The longer they stand next to this mounting block, the easier it's going to be when you ask them to step around, position themselves, and let you get on. Because right now, there's really no place she'd rather be. Now, with a muck bucket or even most mounting blocks, you can kick them around and get them back into position. Hercules couldn't kick this into position, so you got to be pretty accurate with it. But you can see you can really hop around. It's nice and stable. Again, it could be a little higher, but it's pretty good. Now, she wanted to walk off just a tiny bit, so we sit here. So those are some thoughts as to strategies to get your horse more comfortable with the mounting block by using it as a place of rest and a place you get off, as well as a place that you initiate your work sequence. So give that some thought, give it a try, let me know if it helps. Take care.